What is going on? It's Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be breaking down Kyle Crabb's brand new 2025 NFL mock draft. If you are new, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You guys know how to use YouTube. Below my face is my board. It is based on my all 22 rankings that are being continuously updated, so you guys can kind of get a little bit of a peek at the guys going up, the guys going down as time goes on. So love to see that for you guys. But also, if you want to get more involved in the community, use that link tree. You're 2 clicks getting away from anywhere you want to go, including my X page where I post all 22 clips that back up my board. But also, you can end up using our sponsor, UnderDog Fantasy, where you can get up to $1,000 when you sign up in bonus cash. And, well, I get 60. So it does always help to be able to be transparent with you guys, but I also use the app myself. So let's get into it. Let's have a good time. I'm away at this time, so I'm pre-recording this to be able to hang out with my family on Thanksgiving and, prepare for a 2026 way too early mock draft that will be coming up this week. So super excited for that. It's going to be a connection to the 2025 mock draft with trades, and it's not going to be a 3-rounder because I'm electing to then also do a video on 2026. So let's get into this. Starting out with the first overall pick. Is this a multi-round one? If it is, then that'd be pretty fun. But Jacksonville Jaguars go Travis Hunter. I made a billion claims about this at this point. Feel free to watch my actual mock drafts where I end up actually talking about both sides of the justification for or against Travis Hunter at 1. But right now, I think it's a logical move. Champ Bailey's an interesting comp, but I'm going to leave it as is. At 2, the Giants go Cam Ward. It's kind of like a consensus top 3 at the moment. I'm not really going to go too deep into it. Shedeur Sanders is my QB1, but Cam Ward is right on his ass at QB2. So it just is really like, what flavor ice cream do you want? The more athletic foundation with the better arm strength or the better processor? I would say my big concern with Cam Ward is the fact that he's played so long and he still has these big issues. But for Shedeur Sanders, I would say it's the depth of his drops, the sacks that he takes, the lack of escapability. So each one have their respective flaws. My top quarterback, Shedeur Sanders, is number 36 on my board. So in what I would do mock draft, I would not take him here. At number 4 for the Patriots, you go T-Mac, Tetairoa McMillan. If they get T. Higgins, that's where it gets interesting. But until that happens, this is the logical selection. At 5, the Panthers go Will Johnson. It's a pick that I made myself. This is so far 5 for 5 with my 2-round mock draft this week. But I do like venturing into other areas for the Panthers as well, which is including with edge. But corner, number 1/2, depending if you think Will Johnson better than J.C. Horn, is always open. So having them pair up is a great idea for the future. The Titans then go Abdul Carter. It's the logical choice if he's there at number 6. I think right now we're 6 for 6. And I think we continue 7 for 7 with the Jets going Mason Graham. So far, top 7. It's not super controversial. The only times we could throw a curveball here and there, but for the Jets going Mason Graham, it makes a lot of sense. High value player who I think should be an interior defensive lineman too to start out. He's high level plays, but he's just inconsistent. And I think that, Quinn Williams is a great mentor for Mason Graham to reach his full potential. At 8, the Browns go Walter Nolan. Just going to be honest, Walter Nolan will be outside of my top 100. I thought that was going to be a lot better. I got all excited for him, and safe to say I'm just not really a big fan of his game comparatively to what I was hoping for. I do think that his game is a little bit more of the product of the environment and the product of the lack of offensive prowess in college football at the moment, just a lot of bad blocking, rather than translatable NFL capabilities. So I still love Walter Nolan. It's just, again, when we're talking about this standard of him being a first-round pick, I just can't get on with it. At number 9, you got the Saints going Siobhan Revell here. I don't fully understand this one at all. I'm just going to be completely honest. I mean, I didn't really understand it for the Browns in the first place, but Siobhan Revell for the Saints, it's a team that's not looking for a number 2 corner at the moment. I think that Adebo and, we can look at his reasoning right here. Kool-Aid, you got Kool-Aid McKinstry and Adebo. I guess he's expiring contract, but, at number 9, also, first off, I don't believe Revell is the number 9 overall player. I don't see him even as a top 10 corner, but, I just think there's so many talented corners in this class that you don't really need to swing on right here because it's not a super pressing issue. There are a lot of other things that are pressing issues for the team, but if they end up going this route, I'm going to hope that they're right, but right now, I'm not going to be on that side. Then the Bengals go Will Campbell at 10. I think with the quality edge rusher like Nick Scorton on the table, it's kind of hard for them to go with it. So I don't think going after offensive line is a bad thing by any means, but I will just say I do think that there is better talent for the team on the board. The Cowboys then get Ashton Jeanty. I personally think that the Bengals should have went Jeanty. I honestly think the Browns should have went Jeanty. It just doesn't really make sense why he'd fall, but if he's there, it's a great move for the Cowboys. Then the Bears go Kelvin Banks. I've gone that move myself, perfectly fine with it. Get a tackle who, if Karan Amagaji just randomly takes a big step up, can play guard. At 13, the Colts go Malachi Starks. Very reasonable. It's an easy pick. The Dolphins then go Jalen Walker. I think that would, I mean, it's fine. You're going best player available, arguably, at that point. Based on my board, I mean, technically, I'm considering Ben Morrison returning. It's pretty much Josh Simmons, then Jalen Walker, so I'll support it. You can't go wrong with going after defensive line at this point, and especially with like the future in mind, you might want to have even more firepower, so I don't know if Greer could say no to that. Shamar Stewart then goes at number 15. Shamar is a good player, a really good player, but I don't think he fits the Bucs at all. You're trying to replace Joe Tryon Shoyinka, and it just doesn't really sit with me as to why they would replace that role with somebody who doesn't have that type of profile. But at number 16, we got the Niners going Nick Scorton. Great value. Honestly, I don't understand how Shamar Stewart would go above him, but you know, sometimes the combine can do that to people. The Niners end up scoring themselves, no pun intended, a top tier edge rusher. At number 17, the Rams go Colston Loveland. I don't see this one. You know, with all the quality offensive line that still could be sniped, like Josh Simmons as well as Arianti Urzuri. And you could talk about the corners as well. I just don't see the value in Colston Loveland. I love Colston Loveland. For the Rams specifically, they just paid Colby Parkinson. And does Colby Parkinson stop you from upgrading a tight end? No. But when you have a hole at left tackle and there's value at left tackle, tight end is not the position. I know that this is going to be, I can almost guarantee you they're going to talk about Brock Bowers in this. There we go. There we go. It's a little bit different when you have Brock Bowers, who is the best tight end that we probably ever seen coming out of college, and Colston Loveland, who's a really, really quality tight end, but is just not cut from the same cloth. At number 18, the Cardinals go Kenneth Grant. It's a move that I made myself, not going to disagree with it. At number 19, you got James Pierce here. Now, if you swap James Pierce and Shamar Stewart, I think I'd be far more on board with this mock draft. But James Pierce for the Falcons at 19 doesn't exactly fit the profile I'd want for them, but you're going best player available. I'll fully support it. Arianti Urzuri then goes to the Seahawks at 20. If the Rams ended up taking Arianti, then the Seahawks wouldn't have access to him. It's another reason why you should try to invest in offensive line if you are the Rams, because also technically the Niners, I mean, I think the Niners should have looked at offensive line too, but I'm pretty happy with Scorton. But Urzuri is going to be a great fit for the Seahawks as a guard and tackle long run. Then you got the Commanders going Isaiah Bond. It pretty much is going to be the on-sale version of Malik Neighbors there for Jaden Daniels. I think that's a perfectly reasonable pick. Derek Harmon then goes to the Texans at 22. Defense interior is easy to go for him. High pass rushing upside there with Harmon. At 23, Luther Burden goes to the Broncos. I understand it, but I cannot support this knowing my agenda for Tyler Warren going to Sean Payton. I mean, Sean Payton will just absolutely lose his shit if he has to pass on Warren for Burden. Because there's a lot of receivers like Burden. If you want to go round 2, you got Jalen Royals, who is pretty much very similar to Luther Burden, but can actually play on the boundary. But not to take anything away from Luther, I'm just saying value-wise, I could see the Broncos going in a much different direction. Then the Ravens go Jihad Campbell. I mean, with the talent that's on the board, I just don't see it. Jihad Campbell's a really good linebacker, though, so if it does happen, it does happen. Then you got the Los Angeles Chargers going Tyler Warren. I mean, he should have been taken earlier, but the Chargers end up sniping themselves a great one. Trey Amos then goes to the Steelers. I'd be honestly perfectly happy with this, which would surprise a lot of people because I'm very rarely happy with what the Steelers, my team, does in these mock drafts. But Trey Amos is a player who I'm very confident in. He's one of my favorite guys in the class, and getting a true corner too that has that length and that pass breakup ability is something I'll be fully supportive of. Donovan Zirawaku goes back to Jeff Hafley. It doesn't really fit the Green Bay Packers edge profile, but it fits Jeff Hafley, so I'm perfectly fine with that. Then the Eagles go Mikael Williams. You're going to need him to develop over time. I'd honestly pray that BG somehow finds it within him to come back from his tricep injury and stay an extra year, but I just doubt that he will. You're going to need some good mentorship there. It's a lot of developmental guys with not really any sort of legitimate mentorship. So I do have some concerns there, but at that point, you can't say no to it. Landon Jackson goes at 29 to the Bills. I mean, they can get upgrade at edge. I'd prefer some other guys, but this pick I don't understand. And I see a lot of people loving Mansour Delane. Mansour Delane, I believe, was my corner 40. I think it might have been like 37 or something like that. Yeah, I legitimately can't understand this. And this is a perfect reasoning why. They're literally using images from last year. But I specifically watched this game last year, and I still didn't think he was that good. I really wish he did like have as good of a resume as what people are trying to say he does. But this dude gets toasted like nearly bi-weekly. And he just allowed like 150 yards and a couple touchdowns. And it was before this was released. So with the quantity of athletes at the cornerback position that are available, Igbinosun, even if you want to go after someone who had a bad week, Igbinosun, I think, fits the physical profile of what they're going to be looking there in Minnesota more than Mansour Delane. But most importantly, I'm talking about Azariah Thomas here. Like, Azariah Thomas is 10 times the player Mansour Delane is. I'll say it now. I do not understand it. I want to get the hype for Mansour, but I just legitimately cannot. At 31, the Chiefs then go Cam Williams, another developmental offensive lineman, man. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not a fan of this mock draft. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, I get it. It's good value for the Chiefs, but how many more developmental offensive linemen are you going to take, right? You're still developing Wanya Morris. You're still developing Kingsley Sua-Matea. So you're just going to say fuck you to Wanya Morris? Are you going to say that to Kingsley Sua-Matea? Are you going to kick Cam Williams into guard? I mean, like, is that their plan here? Like, I guess the Chiefs. So they're talking about Trey Smith. Like, are they just going to kick him into guard? Like, it doesn't say exactly, but it has offensive linemen. So, I mean, it just, I don't get it. I personally, it's just, I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs fans would like that too much either, just because, again, you're continuing to invest in the offensive line with developmental players when you're in win now mode. If you want to take someone to fill in that guard role, take Tyler Booker, take Donovan Jackson. Cam Williams is still developing. He looked like he needed an extra year. And so I personally don't like this one. And I know Kyle Krabs makes a lot of really good work. So keep that in mind. But there's a lot of picks in this that I definitely am not on board for. Tyler Booker goes at 32 to the Lions. High floor player. Not going to disagree with it. I think edge rushers are far more pressing need, and there's still some quality edge rushers there. So that'd be the route I'd go. But yeah, I'd be in the wrong to try to shame a Tyler Booker pick there. So that's going to be the video. Thank you so much for watching, showing the support that you guys always do. Happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy it with your families. I love you. See you on the far side. Peace.